Hey there, just a quick little project, something I wanted to show you. I have 4 pillows, 2 of these red ones, and 2 that came with the couch that is behind me that now has a teal slipcover on it. So these old pillows that came with the couch don't match it anymore, but partly because of the way I was raised and also partly because of the times that we're in. Um, I don't like these pillows. I don't, these covers, these, especially these red covers, have gotten very pilly and very, um, just old and dirty and gross. And like I said, the gray ones don't match anymore. So I'm going to repurpose these. I am taking these covers off. Luckily, these came with zippers. Do these have, and these have zippers. And maybe because I was raised by depression babies, I don't let a good zipper escape my grasp if I have one. So, and these red pillows in particular are down-filled pillows. So to replace these pillow inserts, we're talking, I don't know, I haven't bought a down pillow insert in a long time because I bought down pillows years ago, and every time I want to I don't like the old pillow anymore, I do exactly what I'm doing today. For instance, this little pillow behind me is just like a nice little kind of lumbar pillow. And I bought, I don't remember how many yards of this teal velveteen, cotton velvet, maybe a year ago, I don't know. And that was before I bought the cover for that couch. I got real lucky because they match exactly. And you can't see behind me. Maybe you can. Oh yeah, it's kind of a mess behind me. Um, I had 2 larger rectangular down pillows like this, nice firm ones that I made covers for that are just plain. And like I said, they match that cover on that couch perfectly. So I got real lucky. And then I had this other little small pillow. I think it was on my bed. It's just like a little decorative pillow. I don't remember what it was originally. And I had just enough fabric to cover this. And then when I was making it, as happens, I had an epiphany that I remembered I had this pom-pom fringe from some other project at some point, and I had just enough to go around this pillow. This pillow also has an invisible zipper in it. That's a little trickier to do with the pom-pom fringe, but it works, and it's the perfect size for my back in this little chair that I sit in here in my living room. So just a little repurposing, and I haven't come up with a design or plan for these pillow inserts, but I was cleaning my workroom and they were just shoved in the closet. And I'm like, well, why keep them with these nasty old covers on them? Instead, let's take the covers off, save the zippers. This is the zipper from the first red pillow. And then I can get a bin or something to stick these pillow inserts in until time that I'm inspired to. With cats, you've got to smell everything to make sure that that's just a spilled water spot or a spilled cocktail or glass of wine and not something worse. But anyway, I digress, as I do. But I'll have the pillows just ready, and I can just have them up on the shelf or in a bin under the shelf or in the closet, and ready for the next project. I do have some fabric, and I don't know if I've shared this video yet, my unboxing video of a big box of wonderful stuff that my sister sent me from Illinois. And there is a beautiful nubby tweed silk fabric, but it's a heavyweight silk. It's not like chiffon or something. It's almost a upholstery weight silk tweed, and it has shades of purples and little bits of teal in it. And so I was thinking maybe a couple pillow covers out of that to just add a little more color in here other than just the deep rich teal, which I love. So this is what I discovered when I opened up these gray pillows, is that there's not actually a pillow form in here. They're just stuffed with loose fiberfill. But again, not going to let anything go to waste. I'm going to pull these out of here. I'll get a large plastic bag. Actually, I think I have one of those bags that you can suck the air out of, and I might just stick it in there and suck the air out and put it in that way it won't get any kind of water damage or moisture, and it'll fluff back up when I want to use it, because when I use fiberfill, I usually kind of do, you know, a little bit of a fluff to it, pull it apart before I pack it back into something. So you never know what you're going to find out when you're recycling old stuff, but it's always worth finding out. And again, this one isn't an invisible zipper, it's just a regular zipper, but you know, I find that a lot of these zippers that I find in upholstered, you know, pieces like this are a better quality zipper than I can buy, you know, at my big box craft store, and also sizes that I can't always find. I do not know why that little piece of whatever was in there. Also, these pillows have a corded welt around the outside, and so I may very well pull that out of here too, because again, we're having supply chain issues, and as we all probably have experienced around the country, so why not reuse, recycle, and save whatever we can as we're crafting and creating and making. So I'm just going to keep tearing this stuff apart and seeing what I end up with. Here's a little tip for you, and I remember earlier I pulled this little piece out near the top of the zipper, and now there's this little square of just scrap upholstery fabric that doesn't match the couch or the pillows, but it's sewn kind of across here. And I realize now as I'm ripping this apart why these are here. They are sewn in to be reinforcements, because that's the end of the zipper where, you know, you would hold it and pull. So that's going to get a lot of stress. So having that little extra scrap of fabric sewn into that part of the seam or end of the zipper just helps to reinforce that. So when I remake these pillows, if I remember, that's a really good trick to remember when you're making something that's got a zipper in it that's, you know, probably going to get a lot of wear and tear. This was on a living room couch, and if I obviously have not pulled the guts out of these pillows and washed them before, because I would have known they were just fluff. But if I were a better housekeeper, maybe, to be honest, these pillows weren't on the couch for very long, because I never really liked this pattern, and the rest of the couch is just this tweed. So we didn't use these ugly pillows very often. Anyway, just a little tip. If you are new to sewing, especially home decorative sewing, deconstructing something like this, like a pillow, or even if you wanted to get into reupholstering furniture, which I've done in the past and I really don't have a desire to do again, but deconstructing anything, be it a garment or something like a pillow cover, or salvaging fabric from, say, curtains or something, really helps you see how it was made. Like here, and this is not the way I would do it, to be honest, so take that for what it's worth. But this is where the two ends of the piping overlap, and they just overlapped them and sewed them into, they actually, two things I wouldn't do. They sewed it at the corner, and I would probably start and end my piping somewhere not right. Well, they're not right at the corner, but again, that's where it's going to get a lot of probably more wear and tear, and I just feel like it would be more apt to pull apart. The other thing that they did was that they left the cording inside the piping. So you'll see how piping is made. If you've never made piping, you see that it's a piece of fabric. All right, here, let's add another thing that I wouldn't do. It's a piece of fabric wrapped around the cording and this cord and sewn into the seam. Now, I don't know, maybe with this type of fabric, using it, this is done, you can see, I don't know if this camera is going to pick up the weave of this fabric, but it is an even weave fabric, and they've just cut it the straight grain. Now, it is interfaced, so it's, you know, it's got some reinforcement. I would normally, when I make piping, I do it with a bias cut fabric. Of course, it uses more fabric to do that. But the bias, without getting too technical here, this, you have one, because it's even, you know, it's the warp and weft go, you know, 90 degree angles. You have one basically thread that's right, going to be running the long way of this piping. And so if something happens to that thread and it gets worn there, then your whole piping is more apt to just kind of open up and fall apart. I guess with fast fashion and fast decorating, people change their pillowcase covers, you know, every year or something. Maybe they don't get worn out, but if you use a bias, you're at the angles, and so you never have one continuous thread running along the edge of your piping. So things like binding quilts and making piping, I like to use bias. Plus it's more flexible, so it's easier to get around the corners. But again, these are rounded corners. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Oh, and while we're talking about piping, let's check out their corners and see how they did it. Nope, they didn't do it the way I would do it. Of course, this is made in a factory, and they're whipping it through. They're not doing it. If I'm making this rounded corner with piping, there's going to be little clips I'm going to notch this fabric all the way around so it flexes more and it'll lie smoother. I've never noticed these particular pillows to be particularly puckery in the corners, so maybe it's just something I was taught and you don't need to do. Again, maybe I learned too many rules. That's possible, I don't know. But just a couple things. It'll show you, but this, like I said, deconstructing something like this really helps you see how it was put together, and if you've and learn, you know, maybe some tips and tricks to add to your own set of sewing skills. Oh, you know what? I wonder, because I really don't want the fabric that's encasing this cording. I just want the cording. I wonder if I can pull the cording out. I don't think I've released enough of it. Anyway, I'm trying to just get the cording out and not have to take apart the whole pillow. So let's... So there you have it. Just some ways to reduce, reuse, recycle, and to help save money, save our planet. And I think since this is Halloween today, it's also a great way to, at least for me, honor my ancestors. A lot of my grandmothers and, well, even my grandfathers knew the value of $1. Actually, probably the value of a penny, and they knew the importance of reusing, recycling, and reducing their impact on the earth generations and generations ago. And it's a lesson many of us maybe need to learn for the first time or relearn. So happy Samhain to you. Again, you will probably see this weeks or months after the actual Halloween, but this is the mood. My Halloween mood today is to reduce, reuse, and recycle some things in honor of my ancestors. And So there you have it. Thank you again. Stay tuned and see what I come up with, I guess. Maybe it'll be another video here shortly now that my creative juices have been unleashed, and I will share the next project with you. Maybe something a little witchy. It is what it is. We have all winter together, so let's see what I come up with in my little cozy cottage, the Dobby house. Let's see what what's in store. So thank you for joining me. And again, if you like what you see and you want to see more, you want to see what these pillows become, you want to see what I cook up next. I don't really cook, so it's going to be craft up next. Then please remember to like and subscribe. Drop me a comment below. If there's a craft, or especially if it's a needle arts type craft that you're interested in, or I have a messy background quite often in a lot of my videos. So if there's something you see over my shoulder that you're wondering, what on earth is that? Drop that in the comments and I'll let you know what's going on in my life. I am not going to stand up and show you what's directly behind me because I'm not real proud of what's going on back there. So, and there's some cardboard boxes behind me because I got to go to the storage unit. Yeah, it's my life. So anyway, thank you again.